Okay, let's see if that worked. Hi. How about that?
We're back.
Yes, we are. It is episode number 265 of What Does This Button Do? It's our podcast, and it's a hodgepodge this week of US and UK travel tips and memories. Good luck with that memory stuff. We have an educational show about smartphones and technology with Geeks on Tour. That's us. I'm Jim.
And I'm Chris.
And we are Geeks on Tour. You have a quick tip?
We always like to jump right in before we back out and say hello. So this quick tip is something we used this so much when we were in London. And I think very few people know that it exists. It's called Live View. So when you're in walking directions using Google Maps, number one, you must have an live internet connection. A offline map does not do this. So you have to have a cellular connection. Then you can tap the Live View icon and see arrows overlaying your real life view. And we have a little video to show you this. 590. Hi, this is Chris Gold with Geeks on Tour, and this little video is about a new feature in Google Maps which gives us augmented reality when using walking directions. Take a look. Here's Google Maps. I've entered my destination and I've selected walking as my travel mode. The blue dot is me, and as I turn, the blue light indicates the way I'm facing. That helps me know which direction to go, but watch this. When I tap on Live View and lift the phone, it sees my real-time surroundings, and using augmented reality, it places these big blue arrows right on the screen to let me know which way to walk. This is just so cool. It tells me it's not safe to keep the phone up in front of my face the whole time. Put it down, and it goes back to regular navigating view. But anytime I need more help, I just lift up the phone, it sees my surroundings, figures it out, and puts the augmented reality right in front of my face, like a heads-up display. So, wasn't that cool in London?
It was. We used it all the time. Everywhere we went, it was so helpful.
You know, Google is giving you directions, but sometimes it really is hard to tell what exact street it's talking about or which way you're facing. Right or left changes depending on where you're facing. So the arrows. And I did a little recording actually while we were in London that I want you to see on the phone here. So we're walking and navigating around London. And let's say I'm not exactly clear where I'm supposed to turn right here. So I can tap on that live button, the lower left, and lift the phone. And now it's showing me exactly. I'm seeing the live scene in front of me. There's Jim walking. And there's the light, so it's telling me it's right here. That is live view while you're in walking directions. So I said it is very important that you have a real live internet connection. So if our internet connection was a little slow, this feature got a little slow, but Jim always had Google Fi.
I had Google Fi
while we were in London.
Our favorite.
And I ended up, I have to tell you the story, using my Verizon daily pass. And it both of them mostly worked, but just FYI, if you start using it, you have to have patience.
You do, that's true.
But God, was it useful.
Yeah. Well, we have a few people here. I want to say hi, Linda, Mead, it's kind of cool up there. That's why we live down here.
Yeah, what?
Sebastian, hi, Debbie.
86 degrees here in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, I figured you'd.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah, all done with Huey's broadcast, are you?
No, I think he's
still going?
multitasking.
Okay, Missed the Fall Colors from Massachusetts. No colors.
Not much in Phoenix.
No cacti.
We saw a few fall colors. It was cool.
Yeah, it was nice. So split between Huey's and
Yeah,
you guys.
multitasking.
Good idea. Okay, Stephen Turney looking and listening from Mission, Texas. Linda, the tree in my front yard is no longer green, it's yellow. I'm sure they're not the only one. Okay, great. Thanks for coming. Hi, everyone. I'm Jim, and together with my wife, Chris, we are Geeks on Tour. And do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? And do you have questions about your iPhone or your iPad or these wonderful devices? And how do you learn?
Well, we are geeks, also known as propeller heads, but we are geeks who teach, and we think that the best way to learn is in bite-sized pieces on a regular basis. So we've come up with this YouTube show that we produce once or twice a month, and we pick a different topic each time. Today's topic is a hodgepodge of different things, but you get the idea.
Okay.
All of our content is collected on our website at geeksontour.com.
Cool. So where are we now?
Well, we are back home, but that's after having been away for 6 weeks. We took our RV up the East Coast to New Jersey, where Jim had a high school reunion.
Yeah, 50th high school reunion, 2 years postponed because of COVID, but we still had a good time and a good turnout, too.
And then we flew across the pond to London, where I was scheduled to attend a Google Product Experts Summit. And then we stayed an extra week just to sightsee. We came back and we took another week or two coming back south. So we've been gone for 6 weeks, but we're home now. And many of you followed along. That QR code in the lower right corner there is a link to our photo album of the whole 6 weeks. And many of you followed along there. But for those of you who didn't at all, I've got to show you just some highlights, okay? Got to show you what the Product Expert Summit was and then a little bit about when we were in London. So I have a small album. Our main album is 250 some odd.
Make it full screen. Yeah.
Photos. This one is just 20 or so. First of all, what is a Google Product Expert, or who are the Google Product Experts? This is a photo of me and some of my fellow Google Photos product experts. There's Peter from the UK. There's Paolo from Italy. There's Jan from Belgium. There's Alex from Berlin. There's Padmaji from India. And Tenley from Orlando, Florida. And then some other product experts in the lower right there. Nina from Romania, I believe. And Peggy K from California. So these are people who answer Google Photos questions or other products. If you ever have a question on a Google product, you can go to support.google.com, pick your product, ask your question. When you get an answer, it will not be from a Google employee. It will be from people like me. We are all volunteers. So in order to pay us, Google flies us to a location and puts on a 3 or 4 day party, a party and educational sessions. So these, and the benefit for me, I love being in the Google Product Expert program. If I have a question on Google Photos, here are the people. There are the people that I can ask questions of. We have a private forum and we can ask questions of each other and help each other. And here, a lot of you already know Michael Daniels. He is a product expert in so many products that I can't even count them. And Jim knows him too. We're always happy to get together with him once a year at these Google events. They fly me there. We had to pay for Jim, but they paid for me. And when we get to the airport, they are meeting us with their PES signs, Product Expert Summit, and they drive us to the hotel. We are in London. Then there's the parties. The first night party is just a welcome to London, and they hire these entertainers to make it fun. The second night was a Alice in Wonderland theme, and the third night they went all out. Google took over Madame Tussauds Wax Museum, and we all got to take selfies with the stars. What a trip. How special did that make us feel? Here is a picture of part of the whole group. There were 600 of product experts, people like me, and they are from all over the world. You feel like you're in the United Nations. Those headsets are translation devices for people that don't speak English. And we learned all sorts of things. The speakers are Google employees who are in charge of the products that they speak on. So we get to learn a lot. Then there were breakout sessions. Google Fi Wireless is what we depend on when we travel internationally. It just works. It's wonderful. But it's a bit problematic on iPhones, and I was having major problems with mine. So I was thrilled to be able to go to a breakout session on Google Fi Wireless, and the product manager who spoke, her name is Siri. How do you like that? And she is also the product manager for Apple products by Google. So I got to learn a lot there. And that is Siri. The last night they had awards, and it rivaled anything you've seen at the Academy. And then we were done. We got kicked out on the streets onto rainy London. But it didn't rain all the time. And we found ourselves the most wonderful little pubs. We got to walk in Kensington Gardens and see some beautiful fall colors. Is this Paddington Bear? This is not Paddington Bear.
That is.
This is Paddington Bear?
It's one
okay,
of them, yes.
One of them. All right. The best day, the highlight, was going up in what's called the London Eye, which is this huge Ferris wheel where you get to have your own little pod and see London from the air. Of course, there's Big Ben. We took a little river cruise to Tower Bridge, and we even went to an art gallery, and lo and behold,
family.
Okay, that's it for my little overview, a little taste of the Product Expert Summit and London.
Okay, a few more. Julie, hi. Peggy, here we go. Linda, Photo McMahon, Mike, Sunny Carlsbad. We have friends in Carlsbad. Yeah.
High school friends.
Yeah. Richard.
Oh, so glad to know that somebody learned something new with that live view.
Okay, Bill can't spell Willamette Valley. How you doing? Tanya. Kathleen, a little chilly in New York City, but it's sunny. That's good to know. And Chloe, you'll be on the show a little bit later.
We will mention Big Mill, Chloe.
There you go. Doug, sometime could you do a session on the best Wi-Fi options when traveling abroad?
We did do one about a year ago. If you go to, well, I'll find it. Go to Geeks on Tour and our YouTube shows and look through. About a year ago, we did one on Wi-Fi, on internet for travelers.
Okay.
And Google Fi, Google Fi is our number one. If you are American,
Yeah, it doesn't work for you if you are not.
You have to sign up for it and use it primarily in the United States. But if you do, then it just works when you go overseas. Up to 3 months. It works fine for us.
Yeah. Okay, Francine, it's cold in Quebec. Too bad. Stuart, I know where that is. It's warm there. And Stuart, let's see. Am I at the end yet? Got a few here. There. Amazing trip without a doubt.
Hello, everybody.
Goodness gracious. Hi, let's get on with this, okay? What are you doing here?
Okay.
Come on.
I need to say just a little bit more about the Google product experts, because I know that there's a bunch of you out there that are the go-to help desk for all of your friends, right? How many of your friends are asking you how to do something? Well, if you like that, you could become a Google product expert as well. All you have to do is go to productexperts.withgoogle.com and sign up. Once you are signed up, then you just start answering people's questions. And if you do a good job of it, it's not just a matter of knowing a product. They don't test you on your knowledge of product, but they watch your answers. And if you give correct answers and helpful answers, that is what gets you into the Product Experts program. And then someday I'll see you at a Product Experts Summit.
Hey, thank you, Michael Daniels, for the super chat. Did you see your picture up there earlier?
Yeah, Michael.
Pretty cool.
We've been seeing him since the very beginning. He's been in it longer than I have.
Yeah. Chuck says it's warm in New Jersey, 90 degrees. That's crazy.
Yeah. For November in New Jersey. It should be snowing.
It has snowed. I've been there. It'll snow next week. And thank you to our premium members. You make our work possible. It's just what makes us happy. Where'd that come from? Let's see.
Oh, I'm envious, Judy. The Google Pixel 8 phone has some features that no other phones have. Not even Pixel 7s. The Magic Editor, and I don't have it. I'll have to get together with you and play with your phone. Okay, this one, I know it seems maybe a bit out of place, but if you followed us on our last episode, we actually delivered our last episode from Big Mill. It's our friend Chloe, who I know is watching. She lives on her family's 120-year-old farm, and she's turned it into a bed and breakfast complete with RV hookups. So we love staying there on our way coming and going, and Jim had fun helping her set up her Starlink. Guess what? There's really fast Wi-Fi at bigmill.com. If you ever have a need for a place to stay in North Carolina, check it out. Oh, another just little travel thing. What did I do with it? Our neck pillows. Oh, so soft. And it even has a little snap here in front so that if you're using it on the plane, you're not going to lose it. It's not going to fall off.
Like your hat?
And it's soft and really cushy. It's not a blow up. All right, but there's more. For you RVers out there, haven't you always been taught that you should never buy anything that only has one purpose? It has to have multiple purposes. And we love this one. So I just unzip it, start pulling it out, and it is a jacket.
And I have one just like it. Different color.
Yeah, there's a picture here. So here is the jacket that just a second ago was a neck pillow. It's warm, it's light, it's water resistant. You know, if you're in a downpour, it's not going to help much, but I love it.
It's not a raincoat.
I love it. And if you're interested, that QR code there will take you to our affiliate link. We got them at a store in New Jersey, but I found the same thing on Amazon, and that is an Amazon affiliate link. We wore these a lot in London.
Yeah.
And we absolutely used them as a neck pillow on the plane, even in bed. I really like it. Okay. So that's what, this is a real hodgepodge. You know, trust me when we call our episodes hodgepodge.
Okay.
Google Maps. Public transit. This is another thing that I think a lot of people don't realize. We use Google Maps all over the country to drive, for driving directions. It's great for walking directions, and it's good for public transit. Now, if you subscribe to our newsletter, you've already read about this, because I wrote a full article about it in the newsletter. And if you don't subscribe to our newsletter, then you should. And there's a QR code to do so. Now, did you end up having this one? There's this one way. Say you wanted to go to the Tower of London. We are in London. I just choose Tower of London. I make sure, instead of car, to choose, or walking, to choose public transportation. And now it gives me all the choices. First one is 31 minutes. Second one is 30 minutes. But what you look for is if there's any transfers, like this one that says Elizabeth Line, that's an underground and then to a bus and then walking. No, that's why the first one is the best. You just get on the Circle Line, 5 minutes, and you're there. So I'll choose that. And it will tell me that I need to go to Paddington Station, platform 16. And you can pay for your ride with your phone. Now, here's where it's different from driving. If I start, it's not going to tell me what way to turn because I'm not in control. It just tells me to get to the Circle Line. Now, it does tell me during the walking, so I can tap on walking, and it shows me.
Okay.
And that's another one that we used all the time in London.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I did talk to somebody else who said that they liked the downloadable transit app from London Underground. Well, and maybe it is a little bit better, but I am so accustomed to Google Maps. I use Google Maps for everything. So the fact that we could also use it for transit, and the number one thing that you need to know is which platform to be at.
And they tell you.
It tells you right in the listing in the Google Maps direction which platform to be on.
So it's important to read.
And what time your train is leaving. And then it tells you how many stops to sit through and which stop to get off. What more do you need? It was great. This is another one, though, that if you're working on offline maps, this won't work.
You have to have a connection.
You have to have a connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Using Google Pay or Apple Pay, we did not need cash anywhere.
No.
In fact, there were lots of places that had signs, cash not accepted. You remember that?
Yeah, there were a few.
And you had me go get some cash, just because we figured we probably need some.
And I spent it. I can spend money anywhere. But we did not need it. I used my phone more than my credit card, actually. But it's tied to the credit card, so it's really using the same thing, but that's how it worked for me.
There was tap on, there was tap, what do you call them, registries or terminals everywhere. So you just tap your phone. And if you have set up your credit card in Google Pay or Apple Pay, when you tap your phone, it does not give your credit card information.
They don't get your credit card number. They don't get your PIN. You're not putting that in there.
They get a link. They just get an ID number, and I think it's a different one every time.
It's a validation, and it skips around. It uses hash codes. It does all kinds of security things. It's not something that you need to worry about. They're not skimming your numbers or anything like that.
It links to your Google Pay account, which is in turn linked to your credit card. So the vendor does not. So it's quite a nice, secure way of doing transactions.
We like that.
And you don't have this one, right?
Try it.
Okay. So when you would get on the underground, the subway, if you will.
The tube.
The tube. All you had to do was tap your phone on the little disc provided. And that opened the gate. So you tap it when you get on, you tap it when you get off, and it figures out how much to charge you by where you got on and where you got off. Now, if you want to see how much you were charged, I want to show you that. So it's the Google Pay app, and I have that in my Google group here. GPay. If you tap on GPay and sign in, then all you have to do is scroll down till you start seeing activity. Transport for London, £25. Now, this was to our last day where we traveled from downtown London to Heathrow on the express train.
That was nice.
So, yes.
No stops.
That is a fair amount of money, but it was a fast train. I clocked it at 110 miles an hour. Just traveling around London, here's one for $8.10 and one for $2.70. And this one was when we paid a tip to a singer. Do you have that one? Or
I have part of it.
Okay. So we were walking around. So that's how you find out your transactions in Google Pay. You need the GPay app. What is this? Gardens. Covent Gardens. Covent Gardens is a very walkable area. There's just all this outdoor stuff going on. And in one restaurant, there was this opera singer. Well, he had a tip jar out, right? But we weren't in the restaurant. We were up above. Well, he had a partner going around asking, don't you want to give a tip to the opera singer? And we said, well, we have no cash. All we have is a phone. And he said,
I got a phone.
I have a phone. How much would you like to give? And I said some amount. And he tapped into his phone. Up came a QR code. I scanned the QR code. Voila.
Gave him $40,000.
So that's what that £2 was in the transactions. And trust me, I did go look afterwards. I was saying, how do I know how much that QR code was? But it was for what I said. And just one other little point. When you pay in any foreign country, sometimes they'll ask you, do you want to pay in the local currency, in pounds for London, or in dollars? Always, always choose the local currency, because your credit card, especially in our case, I know for sure, our Chase credit card, will absolutely have a better exchange rate than the vendor does. So always pay. All right. I think that's all for that one. Next, photo books from albums. So we made this album. A lot of you were watching it and have 250 some odd pictures in it for the 6 weeks we were gone. I want a photo book. I love the photo books. I get the soft cover and they're so
Slick.
smooth and I think, and the photos, I think, come out just really high quality. So I love them. I make a photo book for every special trip. Sometimes I make a photo book just for a friend, or you can make them for all sorts of purposes. But if you have an album, then it is so easy. We have a little video. Quick tip is about Google Photos and Photo Book. Photo books have been out for a while. We showed you how to make a photo book in a previous episode, and people wanted to be able to put text in with their pictures, and it couldn't be done. Now it can. So I want to show you that. And we have a wonderful album of photos for August. So I'm going to go to albums and show you August album. And then let's say I want to get a photo book printed of these photos from August. 3-dot menu and create photo book. And this has been there for a while, nearly a year, that you could do this. But what's new is the ability to add captions. So it automatically picks up the photos and puts them on a page, and I can scroll through and look at them. And here's the new thing right here, add caption. And you can type whatever you want in here. You can also change the way that the photo displays on the page. So if I want a caption on this page, for example, it is currently taking up the whole page. Notice I have 3 choices. Let the photo bleed throughout the page, let it just have a outline, a white outline, or give me the whole picture without cropping it. And either of these two allow you to add a caption. And this was sunrise at Great Sand Dunes Pool. So that's my second tip. You can now add captions in Google Photos book. And I have absolutely ordered a book of our road trip and London.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I think it will be wonderful. But I want to reiterate on this slide, if you have an album, it is just so easy. You open the album, you click that little shopping button, and it'll say order a photo book. Now you can add, delete, and write captions, but you don't have to. It has picked a good selection of photos from your album, and all you have to do is click next, pay, and enter a mailing address. The one I just ordered ended up being 137 pages, and I paid $65. If you go there right now, it's saying that there's a 15% discount to November 23rd or something like that. So there is a discount right now.
Cool.
There were a couple of interesting comments there. I like that Michael Daniels said he just tapped his watch. Yes, absolutely. I haven't. Yeah, I couldn't do that because I had the wrong kind of watch. But that's cool.
You need to get the right kind of watch. That's all.
And what else? Duty got the neck pillow jacket. And
In San Francisco orange.
and Debbie Diver was recently in London, so good to hear her concur that Google Maps worked for public transit just great. Yeah.
And
Okay.
Chloe does have fast internet.
And yes, Chloe and Big Mill has fast internet. Next.
All right.
Oh, have you learned something?
Yeah.
If so,
You should.
you should please subscribe if you have not yet. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Click the little bell and you will get notified when we have new content.
Cool.
And I don't remember what happened to the slide about Backstage Pass. If you are a Geeks on Tour Premium member, we will be doing a Backstage Pass after
I think you skipped over it.
the show.
But
Yeah,
we have another slide on it.
somehow it didn't get.
Who makes those slideshows anyway? Chase Sapphire, travel benefits. This
Yeah.
is our card of choice.
Yeah, just another. I realize we don't do financial tips much, but since we were talking about Google Pay and credit card, our credit card is the Chase Sapphire, and that's because some world traveling RVing friends of ours years ago told us it's the best one for travelers. So we got it.
And they were right.
Well, it's been good. We use it for everything so that we rack up some points. But the point of this slide is that it's not just a credit card. They do have a travel agency, if you will. If you use a Chase card, you can book travel right on Chase. So for this trip, Google booked my travel. So I knew what flight I was going to be on, but we had to get Jim on the same plane. So I went to Chase Travel and found the same flight. Now we didn't get seats next to each other though.
That worked out. We did sit next to each other.
Yeah, people are very accommodating. If you have a single person sitting next to you, you say, "Oh, trade with me," and it's no problem. But if you book your travel through the Chase Travel, you get 3 times the normal points. So if I pay for an air flight, I get 3 times the points. And then once you rack up points, I think your flight, we paid about half or something. So we did have points. Anyway, and if you want to learn more, I recommend the website called thepointsguy.com. That's where I've learned about this. Now, some people have multiple credit cards and really know how to work the system so that they get all their flights for free. That's too much work for me, but Chase Sapphire has worked out well. QR codes. Remember when QR codes first came out?
No, I don't.
They were like a flash in the pan.
Yeah, it's like, what are these funny square codes and why are they there?
And then people,
what do you do with them?
And people used them for stupid stuff. Like on their website, they had a QR code to get to their website. It was just, and people thought they were going to go away. Well, they have resurged, especially during COVID, I think is what. But you can scan a QR code to buy tickets, to get information, to order from a menu. And this picture here, scan the QR code to watch a film of Malala Yousafzai. Now, if you want to scan that right now, you can watch the video of Malala. This was at the Portrait Gallery. But I want to show you 2 different ways to scan a QR code. First, and I'll bet a lot of you know, all you have to do is open up your phone, focus on a QR code, something
Open up your camera.
Thank you. open up the camera on your phone, and you can just point it at a QR code and something will pop up. But both iPhone and Android now have something I think is better. It's a shortcut. If you scroll down from the top of your Android phone, you see a shortcut to scan QR code. Now, does it really do anything different than just the camera? No, but it feels more solid to me. It stays there, and it scans the QR code, I think, better. So use the shortcut, scan QR code. And on the iPhone, same thing. Face ID. I have to hold it up to my face in order for it to unlock. Okay, so same thing, shortcuts. And there is the scan QR code. And I just find it more solid. You know, that when you're using the camera, things tend to move around. All right. Lastly, though, what if you see a QR code and you don't feel like scanning it right now? So we're in this portrait gallery museum in London, and I see this picture of Malala, and there's a QR code. Scan the QR code to watch a film of Malala talk about her work and the creation of this portrait. Well, I prefer to just take a photo of it. And if you use Google Photos, you can just open that photo. You see the QR code. You tap the button called Lens. And it will scan the QR code, and you can go to the website. So instead of taking the time in the museum to sit there looking at my phone and watching this video, I can do it at my convenience later.
My name is Malala Yousafzai. I am girls' education activist, and my activism started with my own story, where girls in my hometown were stopped from going to school. But today I'm here advocating for the rights of millions of girls who do not have access to education. They do not.
So I think that's cool. There's lots of times, like in the Science Museum, there was a QR code that said download a book, you know, a PDF book about all the exhibits in the Science Museum. You bet I just took a photo of that, and then I can scan the code. Now, you tell them about this picture of you and the lady at the bar, Jim.
Okay. Lady at the bar. Where was she? Oh, we were at the airport. Right. And she, this bar, you couldn't wave down the bartender. You had to scan a QR code on the bar in order to order a drink, and she just did not know how to do that, and she was not about to figure that out.
I felt so sorry for her, and I agree. You should be able to sit at a bar and say, "Hey, bartender, give me a beer."
Well,
you couldn't do it at this one.
And so she was fumbling around, and Chris was feeling sorry for her, but she wasn't going to help her. So I volunteered to help her learn how to scan and order a drink, and she was very thankful. She didn't buy us a drink, though, did she?
So QR codes were just everywhere.
Now, I'm sure there are bars at the airport where you could order a drink and get it served to you from a bartender or a waiter waitress, but this particular bar, everything was contactless, and you just ordered and paid for. And it's a little disconcerting because nobody ever comes around until your stuff comes, and it's like, ugh, I don't like it.
Yeah, I think there are better uses for QR codes than that. I really liked the one of watching the video of Malala, though. There were lots of them that were scan this QR code to watch a video, and we can do it now. Okay. Another hodgepodge tip. Quick, take a photo. I use this all. Now, this is an Android thing. So on I think all Android phones, at least every one I've ever had or tried, you can be at any screen. Okay. It can even be off, or asleep. I say, oh, quick, I want to take a picture. Double press on the I call it the power button. It's also called the side key. Double press, and it opens the camera. Now, that can also work even if you're doing something. So let's say you're reading your emails. And you say, oh, I need to take a picture of, something's happening right now. Double press the power button. It opens up your camera.
And that works on my Pixel as well.
Yeah, it's worked on every Android that I know. Now, on the iPhone, there is a shortcut from the lock screen. There is a little camera. You long press on the camera. It will open the camera without having to unlock the phone. But there isn't, to my knowledge, any way to get straight to the camera from anywhere else in the phone. So I love that one. And I think this is our last tip. Google Maps timeline. It's not always perfect. Boy, I've seen some weird things on Google Maps timeline. What it is if you have opted in to location sharing, to location history sharing on your Google Maps, then as long as your phone is with you, Google Maps knows everywhere you go, and it will show you where you've been. And I think it's just a great way of remembering things and finding what was that place where we went,
I can't remember.
And so I want to show you, and even when you're walking, so I think this is a really good one. And it works on the computer or on the phone. I'm going to show you on the computer. If I click the 3-line menu and go to your timeline, it will show me everywhere I've been.
It's just a white screen.
Yeah. Everywhere I've been. Now, I can then start asking it, well, what about on a particular day? So, if I say, I want to see where I was this year, October. Oh, look at that. That's kind of cool. If I just say 2023, it shows that we're all up and down the East Coast and we're over in the UK.
And that's it.
Well, no, we were in Istanbul and in Indonesia too. So that's just this year. But if I drill down further and say October, I think it was the 26th. Then it shows that we were walking. And there are several different segments, but all total that day, we walked 5.2 miles. That's a lot for me. And I just think it's cool to really see that. And if you use Google Photos, it shows you the photos, or a selected photos taken that day as well. So you can see that we were at the Royal Albert Hall we walked by. Okay, so that's Google Timeline. And we did a whole show on that too. If you go to Geeks on Tour and look at the YouTube shows, everyone is listed, and it's not that difficult to find. And you can do a Control F to search if you want. But we did do one that talked about timeline. So you could search for timeline, or, just go back and watch any of them that you haven't seen. And if you are a premium member, you get show notes as well, detailed show notes.
Swipe left on the lock screen. It'll bring up the camera too.
Okay,
On iOS.
on iOS, yes.
Cool.
But just from lock screen, not from any other screen. If you're playing with your email, you got to go home.
Learn something new even after all these years.
Hey, Debbie.
After all these years.
Hey.
Looking forward to seeing you on Thanksgiving.
Yes. Okay. So as I say, I think that's the last one. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. What do we do now? Backstage Pass. I want to remind all of our premium members that we have a Zoom meeting right after this. We call this the show. Get a link from an email that Chris sent out this morning, or you can go to our website, geeksontour.com, go to the member login page, and click on that icon right over there that says Backstage Pass.
And we're ending a little bit early, so it'll probably be right at 3:00 that we start the Backstage
we're not
Pass.
Too early. Any questions out there? I think I've seen it. Yeah,
A couple more comments, but I don't
just-
see any questions.
Thanks, Chris and Jim. Always good to see and learn. Yes, and it's good to see you. And great. Give us a thumbs up if you're anywhere where you can. Subscribe. Well, we have some questions for you. Did you learn something? To use Google Maps walking directions with live view or public transit directions, what do you need? Another app, an account, a cellular data connection.
C, a cellular data connection.
Right. To scan a QR code, use your camera, or A, the shortcut for QR, B, the website QR, or C, the Google Assistant.
The shortcut for QR. Swipe down on Android, and down or up, depending on your model of iPhone.
True or false? If you pay with your phone using Google Pay or Apple Pay, the vendor will see your credit card number.
False.
They will not see any of that information.
False. It's really a nice, secure way to go.
And one thing that I noticed over in the UK is you can't use the Apple Pay on the tube. It was only Google Pay, right?
Now, I'm not sure about that. We didn't try it because we were Android at that point, but I read that you could use Apple Pay, just the writing on the little pad only said Google Pay. Okay. So I'm not sure, but I think you can use Apple Pay.
But we didn't try. The Geek's preferred service for international cellular data is Wi-Fi, Google Fi, Vodafone, or Verizon Day Pass.
I had to use the Verizon Day Pass. It was $10 a day. $110 I spent. Google Fi is our preferred service for international cellular data.
Now, in a lot of places, you can find public Wi-Fi, and you can sign on, and a lot of these places do quite well. When we were in our hotel in Kensington area, we had good Wi-Fi, so we used that. I didn't use Google Fi unless we were out of communication altogether. Even on the hop-on, hop-off bus, they had Wi-Fi, so that was cool.
Yeah, but when you're walking around, you see...
Yeah, you can't.
There was
That's when we really needed it, and we loved to walk around, so we used it. To be a Google product expert, you need to A, be a Google employee, B, pass a test, C, apply at that link, or D, answer user questions.
C and D.
Both. Okay. The quick way to open your camera on an Android phone is?
Double tap that power button, the side key.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, Tanya says I moved the camera app to the bottom row and it's now available on all screens, so her quick.
True.
But it has to be open, or it has to be on. Just even when the phone is just in standby, the screen is off. You can double tap the power button and it'll go right to
So, I mean, on my iPhone, if I'm working on an email, I don't see my bottom line of apps. So,
Linda wants to know, how does Waze compare with Google Maps?
good question. Overseas? I'm not sure.
I use Waze when we're navigating or driving from point
the
to
US.
point in the U.S. I did not use it over there. We used, just Google Maps.
Well,
but I wasn't driving, so I use Waze for driving when I'm over here. So
First of all, Waze and Google Map. Waze is owned by Google.
right.
So they share a lot of the same information. But generally, Waze is built from the ground up to navigate by car. Google Maps is built from the ground up to be an entire information database of the world's locations. So, I don't know.
Yeah, there's more to it. Waze is crowdsourced, so the people who are using Waze and traveling and reporting on things just are how that gets its information. Google Maps is getting there too, but it's not as full-featured.
Yeah, I would be really surprised if Google didn't do away with Waze at some point. No time soon. A lot of people love Waze, but okay.
Okay. Oops, where'd that come from? Get rid of that. Backstage Pass, just a reminder, it's the online meeting using Zoom. The link's at our website, Geeks on Tour member login. It's also out on an email that Chris sent out earlier. Okay. And yeah, you can put a camera icon on your lock screen on a Pixel 8 Pro. That's cool. Waze is community-driven navigation, blah, blah. Okay.
Created in Israel. Yeah, I remember that.
That's
That
true.
sounds familiar.
Okay, Chris, what's the webpage that lists all of our YouTube shows?
geeksontour.com, and the menu item is YouTube show.
And how about the webpage that lists all of our recent newsletters?
geeksontour.com, and the menu item is blogs and news. You'll find newsletters under there.
And one went out just last week.
Just a couple days ago.
And why do people pay nearly $60 a year to join Geeks on Tour?
Well, you get to ask us questions, any question at all, in the Q&A, the Backstage Pass, which you've heard about, access to all of our videos. Some are free for everybody, some are for members only, and the written notes of these button shows. Also to say thank you for all the free training that we give for free, and we appreciate you.
We do indeed. All right, become a member at geeksontour.com/join now. We really appreciate it. Support the geeks. Sign up for our free newsletters. Members get all the books. Become a premium member. Subscribe to the channel. Gives us thumbs up.
All that
Like us,
stuff.
all that stuff. I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
And we are Geeks on Tour. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
It's a good one, I think.